friends. We're reading Little House in the Big Woods, and we're on page 30. Now, Ma's about to make butter, so she went out to the cow and she milked the cow, and she's got a nice jug of milk, and at the very top of that milk settled some cream, some very thick, fatty liquid. It's the cream. Let's see what she does with that cream. After she had put the cream in the tall crockery churn, can you see the churn? And set it near the stove to warm. She washed and scraped a long orange-colored carrot. Then she grated it on the bottom of the old leaky tin pan that Pa had punched full of nail holes for her. Ma rubbed the carrot across the roughness until she had rubbed it all through the holes, and when she lifted up the pan there was a soft, juicy mound of grated carrot. She put this in a little pan of milk on the stove, and when the milk was hot, she poured milk and carrot into a cloth bag. Then she squeezed the bright yellow milk into the churn, where it colored all of the cream. Now the butter would be yellow. Laura and Mary were allowed to eat the carrot after the milk had been squeezed out. Mary thought she ought to have the larger share because she was older, and Laura said she should have it because she was littler. But Ma said they must divide it evenly. It was very good. When the cream was ready, Ma scalded the long wooden churn dash, put it in the churn, and dropped the wooden churn cover over it. The churn cover had a little round hole in the middle. Can you see it? Can you see the wooden cover that has the little hole in the middle? And Ma moved the dash. This is the dash. Can you see that long wooden pole? And Ma moved the dash up and down through the hole. He churned for a long time. Mary could sometimes churn while Ma rested, but the dash was even too heavy for Laura. At first, the splashes of cream showed thick and smooth around the little hole. After a long time, they began to look grainy. That looks like kind of sandy. Look, it's turning into little balls. Then Ma churned more slowly, and on the dash there began to appear tiny grains of yellow butter. When Ma took off the churn cover, there was the butter in a golden lump drowning in the buttermilk. Then Ma took out the lump with a wooden paddle into a wooden bowl, and she washed it many times in cold water, turning it over and over and working it with a paddle until the water ran clear. After that, she salted the butter. Now came the best part of the churning. Ma molded the butter. On the loose bottom of the wooden butter mold was carved the picture of a strawberry with 2 strawberry leaves. See, Ma, she likes everything beautiful, so she doesn't want just a rectangle or a rectangular prism-shaped butter cube. She wants special designs. So she's got little strawberry molds that she's going to smear her butter into. With the paddle, Ma packed the butter tightly into the mold until it was full. Then she turned it upside down over a plate and pushed on the handle of the loose bottom. The little firm pat of golden butter came out with the strawberry and its leaves molded on the top. Laura and Mary watched breathless, one on each side of Ma, while the golden little butter pats, each with its strawberry on the top, dropped onto the plate as Ma put all of the butter through the mold. Then Ma gave them each a drink of good fresh buttermilk. On Saturdays, when Ma made the bread, they each had a little piece of dough to make into a little loaf. They might have a bit of cookie dough, too, to make little cookies. And once Laura even made a pie in her tiny little patty pan. After the day's work was done, Ma sometimes cut paper dolls for them. She cut the dolls out of a stiff white paper and drew the faces with a pencil. And then from bits of colored paper, she cut dresses and hats and ribbons and laces so that Laura and Mary could dress their dolls beautifully. But the best time of all was at night when Pa came home. He would come in from his tramping through the snowy woods with tiny icicles hanging on the ends of his mustaches. He would hang his gun on the wall over the door, throw off his fur cap and coat and mittens, and call, "Where's my little half pint of sweet cider all drunk up?" That was Laura, because she was so small. We'll pause there and we'll get to read what they do with Pa at nighttime. Bye-bye.